another impromptu extemporaneous that is unprepared for, just kind of put together off the top of our heads, presentation for Chris's channel. Glad to do it. I'm so glad that she invited me to make these videos for her channel. One of the things that gets confusing to people is they are reviewing aviation, especially of the World War II era in which we're in, 30s, 40s, and even post-war 50s. All the nomenclature of the different types of airplanes. There were so many different manufacturers. We don't appreciate that today, where pretty much, there's Boeing, they've acquired about everybody, and maybe, a couple other companies still producing some airplanes, but it's so limited. In the day, 20s and 30s especially, there were dozens of airplane manufacturers in the United States and around the world. Put that together, you have civilian planes, some of them pressed into military service, others are made specifically for the military, and the military loves to put all different kinds of letters and numbers to describe their airplanes, P-17s, P-51s, and so forth. To understand what you're looking at, sometimes to understand what those letters stand for. So right now I'm in front of the PT-13, better known to the aviation world as the Stearman. And these things were around for, and still are being flown, highly sought after by enthusiasts, especially those that want to do aerobatics and just have an older plane that has a lot of life left in it. So these have been around for a long, long time. The military used them as trainers, and they used the designation PT, stands for primary trainer. So the Air Force, generally speaking, had a system of planes, PT for primary, BT for basic trainer, and AT for advanced trainer. So if you know what the letters stand for, it kind of gives you a clue as to what the airplane was and how it was used. So primary is where aviators would get their initial training on a plane like this. Then they would advance up to a BT, such as the BT-13 hanging above us here at the National Museum of the United States Air Force in Dayton, Ohio, where they have just an amazing collection of airplanes, and you can see them in context and side by side in comparison. By the time you get to a BT, you're doing maybe more work with radios, and you're doing a little heavier and faster type of airplane. You are doing work with variable speed propellers, although I think they were just 2-speed. So a little more complicated, a little more advanced. And then get into the truly advanced trainers. Now you're doing things like bomber training, as the Kansan over there, and there's another AT around the corner. So you can kind of know what they're doing. Likewise, throughout the war, P, which stood for pursuit, P-40, P-47, P-38, P-61. Those were changed when the United States Army Air Corps became the U.S. Air Force. They changed from P to F. So instead of pursuit, they became fighter. And some of the older planes that were still in the initial inventory of the U.S. Air Force became the F-47, the F-51, and so on. Again, you see pre-war planes listed with the letter O for observation. Those were reconnaissance airplanes. At the beginning of World War II, they moved towards a much lighter version of them, given the designation L for liaison. They did a variety of flights and activities. B for bomber, C for cargo. Those are pretty easy to follow. But if you get the letter or letterers, you kind of get a clue as to what the plane's all about. That kind of helps you understand what you're looking at. That's all I got for the moment.